on this channel, on the YouTube channel, I put up something about like my blood work coming back. My blood work is all over the place. Why? Right? I'm testing positive for an autoimmune system disease. Why?
When you're like the healthiest dude I know.
Yeah. Well, when in on paper.
Well, yeah, nutrition, like what you eat and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah. I eat a purely organic diet. I try to sleep on time. I try to take care of myself. I try to do everything that it takes, but I'm not healthy. And it's just, yeah, it's mental. It's got to be mental. And I think what it is that I'm just absolutely running myself into the ground. And I don't think I'm alone when it comes to that. I think that
A bunch of people are doing the same thing. They just don't know it or aren't
Yeah.
figuring it out the same way you're figuring it out.
I think that what happens as a culture, as a society altogether, is that we are so non-self-aware that we go down these paths in life that are almost like pre-programmed into us from somewhere, whether they're from our parents or they're from society or TV or
All the propaganda.
no matter what it is, there's always this road that you can kind of look at some people who are just traveling down it and just realize like they're pretty far down this road. And a lot of them, if they do wake up to what it is that they're actually doing, they end up just going, well, fuck it. I went this far. I'm just going to keep going. That's kind of like the people who end up in college taking courses that they don't believe in. So they're just going to keep taking that course and they're just going to keep going. Well, I already put this much money into school. I have to finish school. Well, I already put this much.
When their goals don't even align with what they're just doing it because of, the money or the whatever.
Right. And so, I try to look at why am I so fixated on this
Success.
level of success? And it's like, at the end of the day, do I think I'm going to get what it is that I want? Yes, I do. I actually have no doubts in terms of that I'm going to reach there. However, going the way that I'm going, I will never reach it because of the fact that my definition of success has gone far beyond monetary value, and it's now incorporating all the different pillars and such, right? So
Health,
it's
wealth, love, happiness.
well, to me, it's health, wealth, love, and spirituality,
Spirituality.
which all brings happiness, a balance in those areas. But I do a lot of inner reflection and a lot of like trying to be as self-aware as possible. And what has gone on in the past few months specifically is that I have gotten to the point of where I've really realized that if I keep going and I keep doing this, I'm going to end up with like cancer or like something.
Like an ulcer, like something like that. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. I'm going to end up with a real problem.
Yeah.
And technically, I'm 30 years old and I shouldn't feel the way that I do, like as run down as I do. I shouldn't need as much sleep, but I can't sleep through the night anyway.
Yeah.
Right?
You're still a young man. You shouldn't be feeling like that.
I don't think anybody should be feeling like that. I think a lot of stuff is circumstantial to what we're experiencing in life. Like, to the best of my knowledge, there's some people out there who are like 100 years old still running marathons and stuff. Like, there's a way to keep yourself in extremely good health. But, I look at how I'm feeling and how run down I feel, and that like my legs ache and my hands like have that cramping thing, and like the blood results are all over the place, and I have like, I don't know, some therapist told me it's like sleep anxiety induced sleep apnea. So now I'm going for like a sleep study, and I'm sitting here, I'm like, dude, I'm doing what so many people talked about, whereas you spend the beginning of your life chasing money, and then you spend the rest of your life chasing your health because you gave up your health for money.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how can I already be at that point at this age? The amount of money that I've spent on like trying to feel better this past year and just like get balanced and such. I'm like, how could I possibly be that far down that road? And you know what I've realized from a young age, I obviously associated, happiness and such with money because there was a lack of money in the household, right? And I saw, sometimes it would cause fights and sometimes it would cause issues in
So
the
does
home.
this like thing where if you had an abundance of it, it would fix a lot of problems.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, over time, it actually developed into a abundance of resources, right? So I was like, okay, well, if I have enough resources, enough food, enough water, enough money, enough this, enough that, well, what's enough? So it just became this abundance thing where I had to always raise the bar for whatever it was that I was doing, and I was never good enough. I was never happy enough. I never had enough money. I never had enough investments going. I never had enough this. I never had enough that. And the crazy thing is that this is going to sound nuts, but it's in my head. It's like in my head, I have had tons and tons of investments I'm looking into and such in my head. In real life, yeah, I've looked into real estate. I've looked at houses. I've been checking out different stocks and such. I've been checking out that smart city, like the surrounding area going up in property value. Like, yeah, I look into all these investments, but it's like the amount of investments that I've looked into and the amount of time that I've dedicated to that should not have burned me out as much as I am. So, okay, so what has burned me out as much as I am? The very interesting thing that I notice is that when you brainwash yourself for something, you will act as if whatever it is that you've been putting in your head that entire time. So I've been brainwashing myself for probably 8+ years with addicts. The word is addicts. Addicts, people who are addicted, right? To money, to success, to business, to the procurement of more and more
Resources,
and more. Yeah, but there's no stop to it. And you look at certain people and you look at why they are where they are and how they've gotten to these levels. And when you actually take the time, you see in their past they are actually addicts. Like they're ex-alcoholics, they're ex-cocaine.
And they switch it out with doing whatever they're doing.
Yes. I had a conversation with a guy very, very recently who's very high up in a company. He has been one of the top sales guys in almost every single position he's ever been in, every company he has ever been in. And as I was talking to him, I was telling him, I was like, dude, I absolutely admire what it is that you do. I'm trying to get to these levels myself. What are you, how do I get there? And I told him some of the stuff that I'm struggling with and all that kind of stuff. And he basically told me, he's like, you are so much more on the right track than I was, and probably than I still am. And obviously I asked him for clarification, and he says to me, he goes,
he's still fucking up.
He's still fucking up.
Yeah.
But see, he's fucking up because he's deep down this road where he calculated that he was spending per year $80,000 on cocaine.
Oh my God.
And then for various other substances, being opiates and
just whatever,
weed
drugs.
and alcohol.
Spends upwards 6 figures on fucking drugs.
It came to $130,000 that he was dropping a year.
Holy
but
fuck.
It was $80,000 on cocaine. His boss was his dealer. See, yeah. It was a very interesting story that he shared with me. So what I'm getting at is that he was so deep down that road of basically pulling out all the stops. And there is a very sexy theme to the whole, do whatever it takes, whatever it fucking takes. And I'm about that. I'm absolutely about that. But there is a certain point where whatever it takes will lead to the road of ruin.
Don't put me on your level. I am not like you. I'm not gonna settle. Body bag, got a right.